Papa Pepper 3-garden mega harvest.
Alright guys, Papa Pepper here, and this is getting crazy. Now this is just one day's harvest down here on my land. As I talked about before, that we kind of eat in season whatever's really being produced. Right now we're getting a lot of tomatoes and a lot of cucumbers. The noodle beans are coming out at about a handful a day, which when they're 12 to 18 inches long, that's perfectly fine. And then these snake gourds in back, they're really going. This one actually is a little bit bigger than I would normally harvest them at, but it was hiding. I mean, if you can imagine not being able to find something this size in your garden, that's part of the craziness that we're dealing with. I'm going to roll through a series of photos for you real quick just to show you pretty much a week worth of harvest so you know what I'm dealing with. If you saw there was a bonus one at the end. That's because I'm also watching somebody else's garden, Bluer Than Green and All for the Good. I've been watching their garden for just over a week now, which is really cool. And then recently I was approached by another neighbor who's going to be gone for just a couple days, but we're kind of in a drought right now. So they said, hey, if you can keep this thing watered and keep the stuff picked so it keeps producing, keep everything, you pick, enjoy it. And that's kind of part of when I talked about a couple videos ago in doubling your harvest overnight by watching somebody else's garden. It is something to be said for being available to bless others, and when others understand the situation where the garden is for food, the food is for people, it drops the cost of living the more that we're able to grow ourselves. I once was talking about the garden harvest, and I said, every dollar worth of food that I grow is another dollar I don't have to leave my family to go out and work to get to purchase it at the grocery store. And Meet Tarzan on Steam It corrected me. He said, actually, that's another $2 you don't have to go earn for every dollar worth of vegetables and stuff you grow, because you're not getting taxed on the money that you're earning at the job. And I thought, wow, that's a great point, because we do get taxed, and the money you wind up with is only a fraction of what you actually earned. So in a situation like this, I've got little peppers. I've got 5 little mouths to feed, plus Mama Pepper, plus myself. And when we're able to do something like this on the daily on our own, plus to be able to get blessed by other harvests when other people have us watch their gardens for them, that's crazy. That's wonderful. So far I've only used these in stir fries, but I'm going to slice them up and actually lay them flat, put a little marinara on there, a little bit of like turkey pepperoni, a little bit of cheese, and try baking them as pizzas and see how that works. The tomatoes, we've been dehydrating a lot lately. We can rehydrate them later or just eat them as a snack fruit, as like a dried fruit later on. And I've got to get to pickling today like crazy because this stuff is piling up. So real quickly too, before I leave my own garden and go to harvest some of these other ones, my snake gourd harvest, here's one here, here's one here. Okay, that's 2 already that are going to be ready tomorrow. This will probably be 3 ready tomorrow, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, then on this side, that one will take a couple days, but this one will be ready tomorrow too. So I've got somewhere between realistically 6 and 8 of them that are going to be ready tomorrow. These giant ones I'm growing for seed. I love them, they're incredible. But when you think about that, my family gets pretty much one meal out of one of those things. One snake gourd pretty much provides one stir-fry meal for my family. That is incredible. And like I said, I just harvested 4 today. I'm probably harvesting somewhere between 6 and 8 tomorrow. I told Mama Pepper a bit ago, I'm like, look, if we're able to eat a meal of it a day because the kids love it, we love it, it tastes great. I forgot to season it the other day. I was stir frying. I only just sauteed it in some butter, added the other stuff in, made my stir fry. Normally I put turmeric in it. Normally I put some black pepper, maybe some smoked salt or some pink sea salt, different stuff. I didn't put anything in it. And everyone was like, wow, this tastes so good. I'm like, I forgot to season it. Personally, I think they taste a little bit like the little corns you get in an Asian stir fry. That's what I kind of think they taste like. They taste pretty good to me, but we're loving it. And that's the point too, is that if we're loving it, if we don't mind eating it every day, if the kids, like normally the kids are down here with me picking the garden, so I've got a small army of little peppers to help. I harvested all that myself this morning because I got up really early and decided to come out and take care of some things before the family woke up. But they love harvesting it, they love planting it, they love watching it grow, they love eating it. So when my kids are excited about eating the same thing, okay, the same thing on a daily basis, I told Mama Pepper, look, if we can grow like 300 of these, okay, and we can freeze some and eat some fresh all summer long, I said, we pretty much got a meal a day for the entire year that we don't have to worry about. Now, I don't know what you guys spend personally on just yourself or yourself and your family, but I'm talking about a family of 7 being fed off of one snake gourd. And we add a couple other things. I'll dice some noodle beans and some maybe some sort of greens, or add a couple different other things in there with it. But pretty much the bulk of the meal is that snake gourd. And I'm like, that is just incredible to me, because part of the reason we're doing this, I once had somebody comment and they said, wow, you love gardening so much. I'm like, it's free food. That's really it. If there wasn't free food involved, I probably wouldn't care as much about it, because it'd be a lot of effort. There is a huge return on investment for me right now with this garden, with everything that you see going on, and it incredibly excites me when I've got only 7 tomato plants that are huge, producing, you know, somewhere between like 4 to 9 pounds of tomatoes a day. That is incredible. I love that. And if you think about the value on the street of those foods too, it's incredible just to grow your own, and then not only have to not buy them, but not earn the money to get taxed on to buy them with. So we're excited, we're having fun. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see if these get like 6 feet, the ones we're saving for seeds. They're incredible. I'll show you a little picture quick, but one of the little peppers, Pinky Pepper, our oldest one, made a pretend one of these, and she modeled those for us. And I said, hey, guess what this is? And we knew right away what it was. So isn't that cool and creative though, to see a little child like that say, hey, check this out. There's our snake gourd tunnel. So, you know, the ones over here are just ornamental. We're not even eating them. But to me, like I said, when I'm able to crank out that much stuff, when I'm able to have, you know, a 3-foot snake gourd that I can't find because that stuff's so thick and there's so many, that's a huge blessing to me. So I'm gonna jump on down to the next garden, get harvesting that, and this is awesome, guys. All right, guys, Papa Peppers. So I made it down to the garden of Bluer Than Green. I don't know what everything is that's going on in there. And if we take a peek, it's, you know, a lot like a traditional garden. We just kind of have a square or rectangle section that is garden. And it kind of becomes a jungle eventually. This is normally what mine would look like too. That's why I tried to just get to these raised beds that are spaced out with nice big mulch paths in between them, which still get crowded and it still doesn't work out as great as they could. But check this out. I mean, this is today's harvest. I got a handful of ground cherries, more tomatoes, of course, a big pile of Malabar spinach. Now the Malabar spinach, I think it's their first time growing it. It's definitely my first year growing it. Gonna have it be a staple in the years to come. Planted some, like, oh, this stuff is great. I should have planted more. And then the neighbors leave and say, hey, why don't you just pick ours for a week or two? So that is incredible. I mean, these big, nice, healthy, tasty leaves, doing great in this 100-degree days over and over again. Got a bunch of the regular cucumbers, and then we got these crazy ones, which are some sort of Asian variety. I mean, this is a cucumber. It's just, you know, filling up now. It's not overripe, it's not swollen, it's usable. This is where they're at. Now, I don't know what variety this is. I think they said some sort of Japanese variety or something, but I definitely want to know what these are, and I want to be growing these in the future, because when you got a family like mine, I mean, you could make one salad out of a cucumber like this. And if every kid wants, you know, in essence, their own cucumber, just chop it into 4 pieces. This is incredible. I love these. There's just the whole bottom of this basket is stacked with a bunch of these, so that's incredible. I love it. And then of course they got a little bit of zucchini going on too. And then some of these squash, which we planted some of these too, but I literally just got mine in. So unfortunately, I'm not gonna have mine for a while, but we're bringing some in from the neighbors. And one thing I love about zucchini as well is that these are great for stretching a salsa or a sauce, because they're bulky and they take on the flavor of whatever they're with. So if I'm making a big batch of marinara and I really want to be canning some marinara, I'll throw a couple of these in there and they'll just increase the yield. They'll make it so much bigger, but without really adding their own flavor, so to say. And then the ground cherries too. This is something, ground cherries, pichu berries, golden berries, different ones that are like tomatillos that are little, that I definitely want to be growing. They got, I think, some of the Aunt Molly's ground cherries, and we have some volunteers in our garden. I got 2 plants out by my hops that were volunteers that we didn't plant there, but I definitely want to be growing some of these in the future. It's such a tropical fruity flavor that you wouldn't think as an annual that you could grow just about anywhere, I think in the United States at least, a lot of places around the world, that it would have that type of amazing tropical flavor. There's a plant right there behind me. I think they got some spaghetti squash and stuff here, but since those are ones that can kind of last for a long time, I'm gonna let them take care of that when they come back. And then some of the stuff too, like the Malabar spinach and other things, you know, I'm not just trying to strip every leaf off there. I'm just picking some, keeping it growing, harvesting something, and just trying to prevent these cucumbers from getting completely overwhelmingly large to the point that they're almost useless. Now there are a couple on the backside that are big and yellow and oversized, and that's actually a good thing if you want to be saving your own seeds, because if you take a regular cucumber and you open it up, it's not going to have seeds that you can plant. It's going to have seeds you can eat, but not ones that you can plant. But when you let them get really big and swollen, that's going to be the ones that actually go fully to seed, where the seeds become mature and harden and go from there. So if you got something like this, oops, that one can be harvested here. I can use that for pickles. It's that easy to miss them, you know? But you got something like this one, we'll let that go to seed. It'll even get bigger. It'll get kind of almost like reptilian and scaly looking sometimes on the outside. And then you can cut that open at the end of the very end of the season and save the seeds from that. And then you're having, you know, the plants that in your area are doing well, the ones that produced a really good fruit, you're saving the seeds from those. That's better for you. And cucumber seeds, those can last like a decade. You can have a cucumber seed that'll still germinate like a decade later. That is a great one to have on hand. Some kind of a season or two in there, they fizzle out with different varieties of food, but not the cucumbers, so I love that. I don't know, like I said, and I still got one more garden to take care of. So you saw my harvest, you see this one. Now I've got another garden to harvest, so obviously my big chore later today is going to be just a big pickle party. I'm just going to be making a ton of pickles, saving them up for the winter. We'll eat what we can fresh, but even if pickles were the only thing we really wanted to eat, we couldn't eat all these. This is so many. It's amazing. So love these cucumbers, love this garden, love the fact that I've got 3 gardens to watch right now. You can probably tell from my voice I'm a little excited. All right, I'll take care of one more and then get to processing. All right, guys, Papa Pepper with the 3rd garden harvest for today, because this is the 3rd garden. So mostly we got some little kind of crookneck squash right now, and then some pickling cucumbers where they kind of fatten up and still remain a size to put in a quart jar or so. And there's a couple jalapenos in there too, but now this is the one I just got asked to watch yesterday. I was hanging out with some friends, moving a copperhead snake that they had also close to their garden out of the way, and got a call from these guys, some friends and some neighbors, so they're multitasking. They said, hey, can you watch our garden? We're gonna be gone for a couple days. Just keep it watered, keep it harvested, you know, keep what you get, and enjoy. So three harvests right now, because I got ours, I got bluer than green, all for the goods garden, and then this one. So I'll give you a quick tour here. But pretty much they accidentally, their young son ripped up all the beets and told the mom, hey, I harvested your radishes for you. But we got the squash plants down there, and then a row of big fat tomatoes, which there should be a couple ripe maybe tomorrow, next day. One nice jalapeno plant. Then they got their corn. Their corn I won't be harvesting. The beans I'll be picking in a day or two, so that'll be good. And fresh green beans, great for stir fries. We do other things with them too. Oh, cool. Cricket frog. So, oh, missed him. But, you know, there's some beans I'll pick tomorrow. Very cool. And then they've got the pickles, the cucumbers, heading across here. Now they are going to have some nice ripe kind of muskmelon or cantaloupes, but that'll wait for them for when they get home. But again, just an opportunity to help someone and be blessed in the process, and then of course increase what I've got coming in from my family's food supply, keep somebody else's garden going, and you know, kind of get a feel for different things. You can see there's no mulch on this garden. It's pretty well weeded though. They've done a good job. It's just a small little garden right now, but the plants look amazing. Check out some of those tomato plants. I mean, look at how many tomatoes are going to come in on that thing. And the size of them is good. And I mean, same thing there. What do we got? 30 tomatoes just waiting to turn color on that plant. So these look like the Romas, doing fantastic. And then got some big ones down here too, maybe beefsteaks or something like that. Some of them getting orange. They don't look like they've got too much trouble with the tomato hornworms. One was nibbling on this and one down there. You can see, you know, that doesn't need to stay on there anymore. Caterpillars like those too. But just an opportunity to enjoy more gardening, more food, check out some different stuff. And like I said, when you look in different people's gardens, people are going to be growing the things that they like to eat, that work for them. People usually aren't as experimental maybe as my family is, where we're like, hey, we heard it might grow here, or we think it could. Let's give it a try. We don't even know what it tastes like, what it really looks like. Let's just give it a try and see if we like it. We've been blessed and we've done that with many things so far. And but then we're still doing a lot of the traditional things too. You know, you're going to find tomatoes, you're going to find potatoes, you're going to find carrots, you're going to find, you know, Swiss chard. You're going to find more traditional ones as well in our garden. But third garden for the day, still excited, still harvesting. I got to get to process, and I'll show you a table full of everything I've got to deal with today. And I think you'll be impressed, especially when you kind of think about what would the value of this be on the street if we actually had to go to a store, go to a farmer's market and buy it all. Because when it's just the cost of seeds or the cost of somebody else's labor, right? When you're watching this, all you gotta do is come in and harvest it. That is fantastic. So I don't know, if I lived in a city or something like that, I'd even put out like a garden babysitting service and say, hey, I will tend your garden, you know, for free while you're gone, and just kind of harvest and keep it watered and weeded and take care of it for you guys. I think that'd be a fantastic thing to do, and you'd probably meet a lot of cool people who enjoy a lot of the same hobbies, do some good networking, trade some skills, some seeds, some experience, stuff like that. I don't know. That's what I'd do if I was in the city right now. Obviously, even out here in the middle of nowhere, I've got a couple neighbors close enough that it makes sense for me, and this is fantastic. Obviously, I'm excited. You can tell that. So I'll show you that pile of food in a minute, and then I will get this video edited and up so you guys can watch it. Thanks. All right, guys, Papa Pepper here. I mean, this is what I'm dealing with today. Gonna be taking those snake gourds and some of the other Malabar spinach, some of the other squash, prepping up some stir fries and freezing them to enjoy for the winter. I've got a lot of tomatoes. I might make a little bit of salsa with that, or pasta sauce with that, some basil and the zucchini. And then I've got, of course, this big pile of cucumbers. Check that out, guys. I mean, that is insane, first of all. These ones are actually like pickling sizes. These ones will have to be sliced. These ones I'm going to try slicing. Those are those like Asian variety or something from Bluer Than Green, all for the goods garden. Some of them got kind of fat and yellow. That's no problem. If I slice them in half and put them down in the chicken pen, the chickens and the ducks and the guineas, they love them. They peck them. They eat them all up. Grab some volunteer dill out of the old garden site, and you know, with the noodle beans and the Malabar spinach, and we're going to have a lot of good stuff going on. So I'm going to make a ton of pickles today, and then prep a lot of, I mean, really, I'll cut these in half. So I'll make 8 stir fries out of this right here. So normally I say we get a full meal out of these, and we do. But if I'm prepping them for the winter, I'll use half in a bag with some other stuff, and be using some of these too. So that is just incredible. Exciting, obviously. A ton of free food. I mean, if you were to go to a farmer's market and pick this up, unless you were cleaning somebody out at the end of the day just so they didn't have to take it home, you get a good deal on it then. But otherwise, this would cost you even some money even there. So I love it. Hope you guys enjoy it. That's me tripling the harvest anyway by watching 3 gardens. And that'll happen at least for a couple more days till Bluer Than Green and All for the Good get back. And then our other friends should be back as well. And we'll be back to our own garden, which is, of course, going crazy for us anyway. All right, Papa out.
As always, I'm Papa Pepper, and I'd like to remind you, don't post for free. If you'd like to be part of a revolution in social media, an economic power to the people where users can actually blog for cryptocurrency, then I'd recommend that you check out steemit.com and join the revolution. Papa out.